Welcome to the tutorial on formative assessment. My name is Gwen Berry, and I'm a consultant at KY Avery. This tutorial fits under the Tier 1 assessment heading and is an example of a type of informal assessment. My specific goal today is to share practical, easy implemented formative assessments that you can use in your classroom. In our Tier 1 assessment module, we defined and gave examples of the three major types of assessments used in an MTSS framework. The purpose of this module is to provide additional examples of informal formative assessments, since they are key to strengthening your core instruction. Let's take a minute to define formative assessment. Formative assessments are often described as assessments for learning, meaning that they are given as learning is happening. They occur frequently, sometimes multiple times within a lesson. Formative assessments allow teachers to change and adapt a lesson based on immediate feedback. They guide teacher instruction. Formative assessments also help students understand if they are making progress towards mastery on a specific skill or task. Here you see a definition of formative assessment offered by McTeague and O'Connor. Note that some of the key words and phrases in this definition include the following. First, formative assessments occur concurrently with instruction. Example questions we should be continually asking ourselves as part of the formative assessment process include: where are students making errors? What misconceptions do students have? Why are students not engaged? Second, formative assessments provide a powerful type of feedback to both teachers and students. Teachers determine areas that need clarification and reteaching, and students learn if they are on target for mastering class objectives. Finally, remember that the purpose of formative assessments is to guide teaching and improve learning. This means that as teachers, we need to be willing to change what we are doing to improve the understanding for all students. In our first tutorial on assessment, we used the following structure provided by the National Center on Response to Intervention to discuss the major types of assessment within an MTSS framework. This framework helps us understand that formative assessments can be both informal and formal. Let's explore some specific examples of informal formative assessments that you can use immediately in your classroom and school. Have you ever explained something so clearly that you were sure your students had mastered the content, only to find out that many students were still lost? I know that I have. Exit tickets are an efficient way to check student understanding. They are especially effective because they are quick. Students feel safe when responding since they are nonverbal, and specific information is gathered from every student. One encouragement is to keep these assessments brief and utilize different formats to collect information. For example, you could use 3x5 note cards, sticky notes, or posters. Here are some examples of effective exit tickets. In the stoplight method, the teacher creates a poster to be used over and over again, or simply posts 3 large colored circles, one green, one yellow, and one red. Before leaving class, students use a sticky note to respond to the questions on the stoplight or to a specific question that the teacher has posed. The stoplight is a powerful visual that allows the teacher to quickly survey student feedback. Students feel empowered to provide honest feedback since they remain anonymous. Most importantly, the teacher uses this feedback to adjust the lesson. Note that while this technique is typically used at the end of class, it could also be used during a class lecture or a reading to check understanding. If you or your school subscribes to the teaching channel, you can watch this method in action by investigating the resource page at the end of this tutorial. Another popular formative assessment is called Muddiest Moment. In this method, students are asked to take a few minutes to write down the most difficult or confusing part of a lesson, lecture, or reading. This provides an opportunity for students to think about their own learning, making it a metacognitive task. It allows the teacher to find out where students are confused and where misconceptions exist, so those difficulties can be addressed immediately. This informal formative assessment can be especially helpful if students are struggling with a concept or a process. Like the stoplight method, it is typically used at the end of a lesson, but it could be embedded anywhere throughout a lesson. While exit tickets are typically used to check understanding at the end of a lesson, formative assessments should be occurring throughout the lesson. Hand signals provide a quick and easy way for teachers to continuously check student understanding. For example, after explaining a difficult concept like commensalism, A teacher may ask students to indicate with a thumbs up or a thumbs down if the concept is clear. Another common hand signal is called fist to 5. With this hand signal, students quickly rate their understanding using a 0 to 5 scale, with 0 meaning I don't understand at all, and 5 meaning I completely understand. A variation of fist to 5 is using the numbers 1 through 3. Teachers can adjust the scale descriptors based on age, but one example would be 1 equals fuzzy, 2 equals getting there, and 3 means clear. By the way, on a scale of 1 to 3, how would you rate your understanding of informal formative assessments right now? Another type of formative assessment is a teacher-made quiz. This could be a quick 3-question quiz given during the lesson, or the use of a student response system like Kahoot or Go Formative, with more questions given at the end of a lesson. It doesn't have to be high-tech to be effective, but it's sure nice to have options. A third type of formative assessment is brainstorming and the KWL method. These methods are used when beginning a new topic, and they provide the teacher with helpful information about student prior knowledge and interests. The more that students are involved in assessment, the more likely they are to be engaged and motivated. Asking students what they want to learn is a powerful motivator. Another type of formative assessment is the use of essential questions or big idea questions. According to Stiggins, essential questions should be specific, clearly stated, and focus on what is truly important, as well as fit into the broader context of the course or unit. When teachers have a clear idea of these essential questions or learning targets, it becomes easier to create daily formative assessments that fall under these larger, broader, essential questions. Thank you for your time, and check out the videos and resources as you think about formative assessments in your classroom and school.